Um, yeah, all of these videos are going to be on our Patreon channel, and I've started putting them over there because it's so easy to be able to put like the other support material, like the drawings and all that, and have all the videos, so that if anybody actually wanted to do this sort of painting, they're all kind of there. So you could just do like look at 30 minutes, work on that part, go back, if there's another part you missed, and not have to go through 6 hours of tapes trying to think, oh, which part did he, which part were they working on the violin, or which part. So
in theory, you said you would finish the painting in this last segment.
yeah, this will be the last time I work on this painting, I think.
Really?
I think. I think.
All right, cool.
Well, I mean, I may go back in and put some translucent colors over it, kind of doing what I'm doing now, but using more of a transparent color. I mean, and so because I'm using a lot of opaque, but the opaque's going to have to dry, because if you put a transparent color over the opaque and it's not dry, the transparent color suddenly becomes opaque, so it doesn't work anymore. So you have to wait for this to dry, and then you can go in with liquid acrylics, or you can get a flow release to put in with any of your paint, and it'll turn it into a liquid acrylic. But then you can get this transparent words, and get transparent paints, so that the light will go in different ways. So what I'll probably do is make a video of me doing that, and I'll post a video on Facebook. But we won't need a whole live show for just doing the final touches and all that. But it will change things, because with the transparent paints, you can go in and do some really cool tint work. So you can make it darker, like around her face. You can make it a little lighter in different areas, so you can do some final touches and really give it a nice finished look.
Nice. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I should say Daniel LeBron joined us. So
Oh.
What's up, John? Long time no see.
Oh, thank you for joining.
And hopes to catch up soon.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Heck yeah.
Do something for kids.
Heck yeah. I know, it just seems like time gets away from.
Yeah, it does.
It's ridiculous. Like I was talking to my dad before we started the live show, and about going to the lake and just doing things, and it's just you make you have all these ideas, like, oh, we're gonna do all this stuff, and then life just happens. Gosh, especially with kids and everything. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm just putting it off on Jack or having children, but I mean,
I was thinking about us going to the lake this weekend, but it just you start to look at the calendar and you're like, oh well, that actually could be like a day where I can get caught up on some things, and I mean, we desperately need to, like, we're just trying to do some home renovation stuff. So I mean, having like an afternoon to fix the den situation we've got going on.
Oh, that'd be
great,
cool.
So, but Sam joined us, said hello.
Oh, hey, Sam.
And said, "What's up, Brian? What's up, Brian?"
What's up, Brian? I should say, guys, I'm so excited. I understand social media now, or a little bit. I have so much trouble getting my messages. Like, I use a screen reader on my computer, and that really helps, and it's great. But and it worked really well for quite a while. But we got a Twitter and Instagram, two Facebook, the page and the personal page. I mean, a personal profile thing, and then a page. And there's something like, I don't know, something around like 40,000 people or whatever across the platforms and different things. And then, of course, emails, but they all come in. And I can't find anything. Like on Facebook, somebody would have a story or something. I go like, oh, I want to comment on that, and it'll scroll away, and I can never find it again. Or I get a message, and I can't find the messages. And in fact, like on my art page, I turned the messages off like 2 years ago, so nobody could message me on there. I just had to go to my email because I couldn't find them. I mean, it would go months and months and months without me messaging them back, and they would finally send an email and say, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. But now, though, I've got to, I'm trying these new things where they will take all of your social media stuff and will put it in one little thing, like one little scroll, so you get it. I've been reading so much social media the last 2 days. It's been so cool. Like, I just get, and I don't know, it's been really interesting. Like, so it's been cool. I'm still not very good at it, but it's awesome though.
I'm impressed with how much you have been on this thing.
I've been able to respond to people. It's been really kind of, I don't know. I'm pretty. I don't know if you can tell. I'm pretty excited because I mean, I would always feel so terrible because I would find a message, that's like 2 months old, and then I think, oh my goodness, they probably just think that I didn't care or whatever, or I would read something and I remember it, but then I couldn't find it again, and it was just.
Yeah.
And then like a little time, like, oh, okay, I'll look for it again later, and then I don't know. It's just anyway.
I know. Yeah. So that'll be good.
But, the cool thing too, that whenever I found that, I thought, if I'm having trouble with this, I'm pretty good with a screen reader and all the technology stuff. If I was having trouble finding messages, I'm sure other visually impaired people might have trouble too.
Yeah.
So if this program or these types of things work for me, then it might work for some other people. So
I mean, you do have to pay for it though. That's the only downside.
There are some free ones, and
Yeah.
and the only reason that we do the pay one is because, there's like certain features that we just needed.
So like the YouTube channel, all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
more you add to it, all of a sudden the bigger the package.
Yeah. It's just it's like and it's something that'll integrate like with the website or.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Lorenz Myers said, always a plus when I catch your live posts.
Oh, thanks.
Love the painting. Hope you guys are doing well. And then Sam chimed in and said, it's Super Bowl weekend.
Yes. Go sports.
Sports ball.
And Daniel said, no, you're right. Kids are the issue. So
Yeah.
true. It's funny because it's true.
Children are just the worst.
Oh.
And then Karen said, hey guys, so happy to be able to see the progression of the painting. You guys have been on my Friday night company while cooking dinner for the last 3 weeks.
Oh,
That's
brilliant.
Thanks.
That's awesome. What are you
But
making for
she
dinner?
didn't offer us any dinner.
It's making me hungry. What did Brent? What did you say, Brent?
Sorry, she's been cooking dinner for like the last 3 weeks, but she didn't offer us any dinner. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
And Debbie said, Debbie Lavoie, hopefully I'm not messing that up. Nice artwork.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, and Daniel said to me, let me know if I ever found a date for the school event. That's right, you're going to go out and work with those kids. So
Oh, yeah.
I will get back to you. I'm gonna. That's yes.
Man,
And
that would be cool.
Laura Lee Ruff said, "What is the program?" I'm not 100% sure what that means. It was probably something we were talking about 15 minutes ago that I totally missed. Daniel said we just drank our wine at the same time. Because I'm constantly drinking it.
Great minds. Yeah, really. That's not hard to do.
But
You're funny.
The Super Bowl weekend thing, that's...
Yeah.
So, I honestly don't even know who's playing. I only came in, 4th in my fantasy football league, so I'm done. I'm not happy, so I don't care.
Well, my team's going to score the most baskets. That's all I know. Now, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be. I don't know. It's always fun.
I mean, it's fun, but I mean, the other issue is like well, my brother and Sam, and then we have a big fantasy football league, and so that's really the only part of football that I care about. So, and that ends, well, I guess the game before playoffs or something, and so and I don't know what's happening this usually we have a party and all that, but I haven't heard, so I don't know how we're divvying up any winnings or what's happening with any of that. So, Sam, let us know if you know something we don't know.
It'd be fun to do like an art fantasy football league next year. If there are enough people that are on the live streams.
Who would be your quarterback? Bob Ross?
No. No, I don't mean.
I don't get it.
Gosh. I was trying to think of a good artist that would be a good quarterback, and I don't know.
Caravaggio.
Caravaggio, I was going to say,
but
but I don't want him to be my running back though, because he'll get out there and he'll cut it up,
But he would be really good at going to jail.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah,
there is that.
yeah. Well, no, I meant people who are like tune in or whatever who are into fantasy football, we could all get in the same league and play.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And recruit real football players, but
okay.
but people.
I got you.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Hold it. Yeah, that's it.
So Karen said, "Ha, for sure, but it might be a bit cold by the time it gets to Texas. I'm in Oregon, but if you guys are ever up here, food feast would be on."
Oh, that's
a blast. I've never been to Oregon. I would love.
Oh yeah, I would too.
Love to go there.
I would too.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like a fantasy football art league would be kind of fun.
Okay, we'll be there next Friday. I'll see you soon.
Really.
That's so sweet. That would be fun. So, I've about got this down to where I don't like what I just did. I felt it when I swooped it. Mm-hmm. Actually, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe that's the best mark I've ever made. This is the mark that the rest of the painting is going to be built around.
Yes, I can see it.
No, it was a mistake.
I mean, hair's not. It's not all going to be perfectly wispy, so it makes sense that it's the one, cowlick section of her hair.
I'm not painting alfalfa here. Come on, we don't want like the cup in the back. But I am about done with this because I know, and it's probably I don't know what it's like to watch me keep doing this and doing this. But I'm just working on all these different layers. But one of the great things, like, if you're working on leaves, like on trees, if you're working on hair, if you're working on grass or something, or water, if you're wanting an undulating sort of water, this sort of technique works really well because you can start with opaque colors and then you start working in with transparent, and you just keep layering and layering. And the light going in will reflect sooner in some areas, a little bit later in other areas, and it just gives a really nice effect. And it's weird though because whenever you're done, like once I add the transparent colors and then you varnish it, you can take a photo of it, but the photo isn't really going to show the true colors. Like it's so funny with a lot of my paintings that are like this. Whenever you're actually in the room and the light is penetrating, you see so much more. People were like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't realize there were so many colors. They were so varied." Because like with the camera, you're only getting like one angle, one color that instant, and then, but in reality, it's apparently changing or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean,
you explain. You're the one with the photography stuff.
It's difficult because like I am the one that takes the photos of John's work and.
Oh, and I'm not saying your photos are bad.
Whatever. And but it is difficult, especially if the paintings are big. Like that becomes a real issue because, we try. There's two ways we try to take the pictures in the studio with like the 45-degree angle, like big giant box lights on them, and then I actually kind of like to take them outside on a quasi cloudy day and do natural light out there because it seems to be a little bit more even and real. The colors are a bit more real. But a lot of it, you have to take it into Photoshop and you have to correct it because it's, the clouds outside give kind of a blue cast.
You think my paintings aren't perfect? You gotta take it
my
out.
photos aren't.
I know what you mean.
But it's a process.
I have to. It's funny. I don't know anything about photography, but I find all kinds of art interesting. And one thing that I thought was kind of neat or interesting about photography and the digital is that you have to calibrate. I heard something about you talking or another about calibrating the monitor.
Oh yeah.
To match like the printer.
Yeah. And
then to match the camera or something because it has. If the color correction's off, then what you're seeing on the monitor isn't going to come out in the printer and.
Yeah.
Oh, that stuff just boggles my brains.
Yeah, I remember when I used to work at the newspaper years and years and years ago, and there were like devices that you got, and you would you would stick these things to the computer monitor, and it would read all the colors that the monitor was doing, and then you'd have to take the other end of the device, and you'd have to calibrate it with like the printer's end of things, and it's a huge process. But now, I mean, I haven't worked in the newspaper biz in a while, so I don't know what they do now. I assume it's probably a bit easier, I would assume.
You would think they would have worked out something.
I mean, yeah, even if it's like, you literally give the numbers, like the CMYK numbers or something like that. But, yeah, that was a process. Like when we do John's prints, it was because we don't have those devices, it was a matter of me tweaking it in Photoshop and then taking it up there and getting a print done. And then me looking at the original and being like, it's a bit too dark or it's a bit too yellow, and then you tweak it and then you go get it done again. So, luckily, I think printers these days are pretty sophisticated, and I mean, like the monitors get it all pretty close to accurate. So,
Yeah.
we haven't really run into any issues, and when we do, we just get them reprinted.
Yeah, that's true. You always do that.
That's what we do.
So I just want to say really quick, because I'm almost done with what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going through and I'm doing some cross strokes going up, and I'll do that with the transparent colors too, and that's just to give it a little variability, so it's not all going the same way. And then so I was saying I would finish this painting on during this time, but I've got as close as I can, I think. And the hair is still pretty wet in places. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to start putting in transparent colors. And I'll make a video about that. So if you guys are just curious or want to see that. And if anybody is wanting to give painting a try, or if you haven't painted in a while, a painting like this is a really fun one to do, because, it's a figure, but, it's not that realistic. It's, you can kind of loosen it up a bit and have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And you can go crazy with the hair and go nuts, and that's fun. If nothing else, it's therapeutic. Just keep making that hair. Just keep making that hair.
Keep putting the hair down. So
Sip the wine, draw the hair. Sip the wine, draw the hair.
Daniel
Or
Daniel
if you're
asked,
me, sip the water.
when do you know when the painting is done? Is it a mental image, feel the layers of the paint, or a combination of it all?
That's a really good question. I have an image idea of what I want to do, and I have a process in my mind of all the layers that I need to do to be able to get there, and so I'm kind of tick them off. Like I know I want to block it in. So like when I first started, I drew in the drawing, and then I blocked it in, and I blocked her in, then I blocked the hair in, and then I knew, okay, the next thing I started adding the colors. So you're just starting to do that. But so like I'm gonna wait for this to dry, because some of it is still wet. A lot of it's dry. The paints I use dry really quick. But whenever it's dry, though, I can go in and feel the strokes and see if it's got like the variegation that I want. And while I was painting, I had sort of a system going. So I know it looks really random, but I would work in like the light blue, and I would use like a really light value color, like a light blue or light purple or light yellow, and then I would work in a deeper sort of value, like a darker red, a darker blue, and I would go through and I would add that. And then I would go back in through the light and just keep working. So I don't know. It's a really long answer and probably not a good one, but you just keep going until you think if you do any more to it, you're going to be taking away from it. You're going to mess it up. But honestly, it's so therapeutic. It's so great. I mean, if you did a painting, if I did this painting, it turns out like I didn't like it at the end of it, nothing's lost. Like it's no big deal. Painting is about doing it. And if you end up with something you like in the end, that's icing on the cake. That's awesome. It's a win-win. But it's the act of painting is really where is really what
I
the
think for a
benefits
lot of
can.
artists, it's the process. It's really
Yeah.
We wouldn't do it unless it really kind of was the process. I think.
Yeah, and and if you and the more you do it, the more you end up with something you like at the end, or expresses what you were trying to say, and that's awesome. But but the neat thing about it, and the great thing about it, is that right from the beginning, you get that benefit. Like from the very first time you do it, if you're not worried about how it ends up, you get that therapeutic, huge boost. It's just it's awesome. And you get that right from the beginning. Then the more you do it, the more you end up with paintings you like. That's just extra.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So Karen Teeter asked, "What kind of monitors do you use?" I'm asking as a working photographer who's looking to solve the same problem. I would, it wasn't a particular monitor. It was like whatever computer monitor we were using at the time. Like for example, I have a fairly old MacBook Pro, but it's a typical computer, so it really isn't like a set type of monitor. It's just trial and error of matching what's on the monitor to what's printing out. So in a lot of it has to do with who are you printing with. Are you going to a high end company? I mean, there's like we use periodically we used Thomas Richter Graphics, and like what they do, what is fantastic. It's kind of expensive, but we'll do it occasionally. Is take the paintings and they do a cruise scan of it, which they lay it on this big giant flat bed, and it goes into the system, and and it just like perfectly puts light everywhere, and it is like a replica of the painting. I mean, it is down to like the texture in the canvas. It's gorgeous. So depending on like the painting itself, we might use that if I can't get a good image. But I mean, it really comes down to like who you're using as a printer, and how their process works with calibrating your personal computer, which is really just the monitor, is whatever computer you use.
Is there like a way to go into the monitor and have it tell you like how it's set up or the color values, or
I'm not sure.
their computer's talking to us?
I don't know. I don't think so, because you're communicating with a printer, and so that whether or not your monitor is set up a certain way is not.
I mean,
it may not be the same as.
I mean, like to see so you know how to adjust it, the printer, or this or that, or, like if it said, oh, the cyan is set at 50, and then you're like, oh, the printer, the cyan set at 60. Okay, well, I know I need to adjust it.
I don't know. There might be a way to do that, and that might be like part of like having those devices that you hook to the monitors. But I know for us it was just trial and error to like kind of match what we were looking for.
That makes sense. Yeah, and you find a printer that works, and like a print service. Whenever I say printer, it sounds like I mean like a printer that you print out of, but I mean
like a print service.
Yeah, like a company that prints. You find a good printer, and you really want to hang on.
Yeah,
to it.
and they're in, that's their business, so they should be definitely willing to work with you. I would assume they want your business, so they would help in that department for sure.
Yeah, for our regular prints, we use a printer here in town, and we like to keep it local, and they're brilliant. They're so great. And they'll work with us. And then our limited editions, we work with a place that's out of state, but it's just they're really great with what they do.
Like their stuff. So Amelia Elaine joined us, and Daniel asked if that painting was for sale or if somebody had commissioned you to do it.
Oh no, this one is it's for sale. It's just I really wanted to do a music painting. Yeah, I wanted. I don't know. I've been always listen to music, but I don't know. I wanted to do like an emotional kind of fun painting. But yeah, so that's what I'm working.
Do you know what your next painting's going to be for the next live show?
I don't know. Maybe a covered
bridge.
Bridge. A covered barn.
Let's hope it's covered.
Aren't most barns covered? Isn't that just a field if it's not covered?
Yes.
Or a stall. It's just a fence.
Do it. Yeah, covered bridge. But
well, guys, I want to thank y'all so much for joining us for this, and I've had so much fun doing this, and I can't believe we've gotten all the way through, 3 of these live shows to do this painting. And I'll finish it up, and I'm going to put some transparent colors and stuff on there, and I'm sure I'll make a video of it. I mean, I could do it in the next live show, but I'll probably make a video of it, and then I'll have it finished at the next live show too, just to show.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That'd be fun because I want to work on the bridge or something.
Yeah, work on something different.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in and talking with us over the chat. We really appreciate it. Be sure
it's
to
so
like
much
and
fun.
subscribe and all that fun stuff. And if you have composition ideas, do that.
Please, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. And thanks, Brian.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thanks so much, guys.
See you guys next time.
Well, it's been the longest day. You wish you could